Imagine it's the mid 90s. You're in fourth or fifth grade sitting at a red checkered table inside of Pizza Hut. The sounds of Super Off Road buzz from a nearby arcade cabinet, you know, the one with the three steering wheels. The scent of melted cheese and pan crust still lingers from the free personal pan pizza you just devoured. That pizza didn't stand a chance. A server walks over and hands you a shiny star sticker for your Book It button. Life is good. Back in the day, Book It rewarded young readers with a free pizza and a pin full of pride. That Book It button was like the Gen X or Millennials' first taste of achievement badges. And since August 9th is Book Lovers Day, I thought we could tap into that nostalgia a little bit by making a Book It inspired graphic you can use to celebrate reading on your social media using Adobe Express. So here we're in Adobe Express. I'm in the Get Started menu that pops up right when you get signed in. And I want to create a square, a one-to-one square. That'll be perfect for just about any social media platform. Works with X, it works with Instagram, any of those things. Over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to search for elements, and I'm going to search for button. If I go here to Design Assets and View All, I'll scroll down until I find something that looks like a little button that you would wear back in the day. This here is a green one. We don't want green, but we have some options in Adobe Express that will allow us to fix that and make it look how we want to. Click on that. We'll go over here to Effects, and we want to go to View All, and we are looking for the duotone, and we'll go to Custom. Now they have some different options you can select from your swatches, but I'm going to go over to Custom, and we'll say for the shadows, we can use our hex values in here, and I'll go with 53127A, which is going to get us a nice dark purple in there. Then for the highlights, A795F8. And that gives us the right color for our Book It pin that we know all too well. Once we have that finished, then we need to add some text in here. So we'll go here and find some text, have a happy, and I'll go in here to the text layout and find the arch. And the font I want to use for this, Urbane Rounded. Let's start off with the bold and see how that looks. All right, so we'll bring that to be a larger size. Then we want to fit it in here with this button about like that. Wouldn't be a bad idea at this time to change the color of that to white. And we're starting to have that text of that rounded edge font that was used in those buttons. We'll add another text, type in here, Book Lovers Day. To make it fit a little bit better, with that selected, we could go over here to text layouts and go to dynamic text. I love dynamic text because it lets us do fun things like that, where you can choose the size of these words and it fits them appropriately in the space provided. All right, once you have that size that you'd like it to be, you can use these smart guides to make sure you're centered in there. We'll change that type to white. And I also like to go here in the three dots under the type section and adjust my line spacing to have them be a little bit closer together. Next, we need a picture or an icon of a book to fit in this blank area. We'll go back here to Elements once more, and we will search for Open Book. And they have a lot for us to look in here for, a lot of great design assets, but I think it would be better if we find an icon. Select that and we will search. And I do like this one right here. We have the open book and it also looks a little bit like a heart, which would be good for a day titled Book Lovers Day. Select that and choose white for the color. And we can adjust the layout of these a little bit more just to make sure everything's spaced appropriately. After we have that, this doesn't look too bad. It does look like a button, but we could add a little bit more realism to this. I select that button there and I Control C and Control V to copy and paste, and I place this over the top. Then I'll go back over here to effects. And if I go to grayscale, go back over to edit and select opacity. Then here we can change our blending mode to multiply. And you'll see when we do that, then we have kind of the highlights and the shadows from the original button on there. If you want to, you can choose to adjust the opacity levels also on here. So I could go to about 85%, and that still allows us to see that reflection in the shadow of that bend. If you want to change the background color, then we can go here to custom and maybe switch to something like a light blue. Could go 7BB2D9. Select everything on there. Rotate it just a little bit for good measure. And last but not least, going here to this bottom layer and going up here to effects. And we can choose view all from the shadow and select strong. Go up here to custom. And then you can adjust that angle a little bit if you choose to do so. Since I have kind of a glare right here and a little bit of a glare right here, I'm going to put the shadow here to the bottom right of that and change the color of that to black. Adjust the distance if necessary. Have the blur be to 2 or 3. And there we have it. Thanks for following along and bringing a little 90s magic back to life with me. If you made your own Book It inspired graphic, tag me. I'd love to see it. I bet you have some great ways to incorporate this design with your coworkers or in your classroom if you're a teacher. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow book lovers or 90s kids. And also importantly, have a happy Book Lovers Day.